What's going on, YouTube? I told you I would be back. I told you. I'm here with my SummerSlam predictions, which will be taking place on August 2nd and August 3rd in New Jersey. August 2nd is my birthday. Make sure you wish your boy a happy birthday. I'm watching you. Let's go ahead and dive into these predictions. So, we start off with Gunther versus CM Punk. This is not the official match card in the order of the matches will take place. This is just based off of how CBS Sports has it listed. I went off of that. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at CBS Sports. So, Gunther versus Punk. I don't think they would have Gunther beat Goldberg and then lose to Punk just that fast. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. I do also believe that Seth Rollins is hiding off in the cut, ready to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. We do know that he is injured, but with Braun and Braun security, anything is really possible. CM Punk could win, and then Seth Rollins cashes in, or Seth finds a way to screw Punk out of winning, because we know three things are sure: death, taxes, and CM Punk is going to get screwed by Seth Rollins for a world title. We just know those things are guaranteed. I don't know if I could see Gunther legitimately walking out as champion, regardless if Punk gets screwed by Seth or if Seth cashes in just to take the belt. I don't know if they would have Gunther lose after he just won the belt and then just beat Goldberg. That just wouldn't make a lot of sense. But I do think Seth Rollins will have something to do with this match in its totality, whether that just being him screwing Punk and Gunther retaining, or him cashing in and Braun and Braun helping him retrieve the belt. I don't know. But I do know Seth Rollins will play a huge factor into this match. If he doesn't, I do see Gunther retaining. If he does, I see Gunther retaining or Rollins walking out as a champion. I don't see Punk walking out as a champion just yet. I know we're going to have to see Punk versus Rollins eventually down the line, and I think that'll be for the belt, whether that being in Punk having the belt or Rollins having the belt. But I don't see Punk taking the belt off of Gunther just quite yet. Next, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill, with the little bit of storyline that they've built. I don't see Jade taking the belt off of Tiffany. I really did think that going into this match that Naomi would have been cashing in to screw Jade and take the belt in front of her eyes. But we know that Naomi has the belt on the other show. So those two things don't play hand in hand at all. So I do see Tiffany walking out as the champion still, and then we seen them have a rematch at Clash in Paris. Excuse me. Tiffany Stratton walks out as the champion here. The match that I could really care ultimately less for, we have Randy Orton and Jelly Roll taking on Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. The behind the scenes stuff that's been taking place with the interviews and stuff has been really cool and really interesting, from Drew interrupting Randy to Logan interrupting Jelly Roll. I understand Jelly Roll is a fan of professional wrestling, but at the same time, I'm kind of tired of all the celebrities. There's other people who deserve to be on this match card to where we don't have to see Jelly Roll on there. Just plain and simple. Celebrities usually always win, so I don't see Jelly Roll and Randy Orton losing. I do see Logan Paul being the one to take the pin, with it not hurting him at all. Drew's on a hot streak. He shouldn't be the one taking the pin whatsoever. Just that simple. Jelly Roll, Randy Orton win. This one's got some pizzazz behind it. We got the Judgment Day of Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez taking on the odd pairing of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. What does Liv Morgan play into this? We do know she's injured, but she could come out just to cost Flair and Bliss the belt, or be a distraction with Roxanne Perez filling in for her and her not liking that, and Bliss and Flair walking out as champions. I think this match is literally split down the middle 50-50. I'm not giving either side the upper hand. I could see Bliss and Flair walking out because they're the hottest tag team in women's wrestling right now, and Charlotte Flair never really loses title matches. Yeah. Um, I think what it boils down to is, what does Liv Morgan do in this match? Does she show up just to cost either side the belt? One side being the fact that she doesn't like Roxanne filling in for her, or she helped Judgment Day to retain the titles. I'll leave that up to your imagination. I'm picking Raquel and Roxanne Double R Judgment Day to retain the titles. So I know we all realized that this was supposed to be Seth versus Roman at SummerSlam, or Jay and LA Knight versus Braun and Braun Security. But with Seth going down with that injury, that threw a huge wrench into the plans. That boils down to Roman having to return later. I do believe he was supposed to return at Saturday night's main event, and then lead to Seth versus Roman. And then we would get Jay and LA Knight versus Braun and Braun Security. That's just my personal opinion. That's what I think is going to happen. I do not think Jay and Roman lose here by any means. Bronson Reed will be the one to take the pin, because Braun Breaker is the hottest thing since sliced bread, and WWE is going to push that guy to the moon. One-way ticket, rock it up his ass, send him to the moon. Just that simple. Roman and Jay can't lose here. They won't lose here. If they do, that would be the biggest mindfuck that we've seen in the longest time. Shout out to Sylvester. Cross versus Sammy, Part 3. Cross versus Sammy, Part 3. As much as I want to say it, I want Cross to win. He's got all the backing right now from the fans. I don't see why you don't push him to the moon. The guy's so over. Sammy doesn't need to push. He's had his opportunity. I really think this is the time for Cross to win. Big win, and to push for him to go towards a singles title. That's just my opinion. I think Cross deserves the push. You don't have the fans in the crowd behind you as much as he does and not push him. I know he's probably excited to have his SummerSlam moment, but at the same time, he deserves the win. Give me Cross. Ooh boy. Rhodes versus Cena 2. And we do know Cody Rhodes is going to be leaving to play in Street Fighter. Do I think he has the ability to play the character he is playing? No. Do I think he has the acting chops? I don't know. But I do think Cena is going to hold the belt for the rest of his retirement, and hopefully it leads to Cena versus Orton, face Cena, heel Orton for the title. I've been pushing that ticket for as long as he's announced that he's retiring. That has been my final goal and final standpoint. And with Cody Rhodes leaving, it kind of doesn't make sense for Cena to turn the belt over to anyone other than maybe Orton. Give me John Cena. Does Rock come back? I don't know. Do we care? Not really. We don't want him, and we don't want Travis Scott. I don't know how this match finishes. It'll probably be a heel sneaky way like it has been for his last couple matches. But, give me 17 time for the one time, John Cena for the belt. Naomi versus Io versus Rhea. I think Naomi retains here. I think we continue to push this narrative that Rhea just can't beat Io, because Io is the best thing in women's wrestling right now. Don't at me, at your mama. I think that's the case. I think there's no point in putting the belt on Naomi to have her lose it this early. This match is going to cook. We know what Rhea and Io can do. Add in Naomi, and you got a recipe for a banger. Give me Naomi retaining. Lyra versus Becky. This has been cooking. This has been cooking. You're bolstering up your new young talent in Lyra, while also not making your vet look weak in Becky. I'm not going to be one to push the Becky Hogan narrative by any means. I do see Lyra walking out as champion, and I do see that going to Clash in Paris, triple threat, Becky, Lyra, Bayley. Or Lara versus Stephanie Vakir, because we know she won the women's battle royale. Give me Lara versus Stephanie. Buffet. I think that'll cook. Give me Lara for the win. Jacob Fatu versus Sola Sikoa. MFT, my family tree. The numbers of a game is so against Jacob Fatu. I mean, you have Tamatanga, who's still on the injury list. You have Big Jim, and you have Lance Anoa'i, who is on the WWE roster. You could bring in somebody else who, I don't know, it's not going to be hello. Dang, I just had a brain fart. It's not going to be Zilla Fatu this early. I think he's still got a lot going on the indie scene. But we know that WWE's pushing Jacob to the moon. Straight to the moon. But the numbers advantage is so against him. But it is in a Hell in a Cell or Steel Cage or whatever, which doesn't make the numbers of game even, but it makes her harder. And like I said, he has Tamatonga. We're not sure what side he's going to pick. You know, him and Jacob Fatu was like this. You have Lance Anoa'i and you have Big Jim, Jimmy Uso. They are making Tamatanga look indestructible, and Tongaloa, and then JC Mateo. I'm still putting my money and betting the house on Jacob Fatu. Give me Jacob Fatu for the win to be your new United States champion. Finally, we're going to get AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio to defend the IC title for the third time since he's been champion for how long now? With him making his appearance at AAA and him being a part of that Fatal 4-Way against Dragon Lee, Vikingo, and let me check. AAA title. Who is going to be in this match? Dragon Lee, Vikingo, and Trash Grande Americano. So this would be the perfect time for him to lose the belt to Styles and the Styles to start doing other things. Sheamus, Rusev, Ludwig Kaiser, Cross, Sammy. The list goes on. The options are literally endless. Styles versus Finn. Styles versus Shinsuke. I know Shinsuke's on SmackDown, but you know, like, you can move pieces around to make some matches happen. Maybe Cena loses and we get Styles versus Cena. You know, Cena needs the IC title to become a Grand Slam champion. Maybe this is the outing for that. But I do think Dom will walk out of AAA Mania with the AAA title and submit himself as his legacy in the Latin professional wrestling culture. And the best way to do that is to have him lose the IC title to Styles here at SummerSlam. So give me AJ Styles. They don't want none. And our last match, the match that's going to steal both nights because it's going to be an absolute banger. Should have been at Mania. Took way too long for us to get here, but we're getting DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns versus the White Six versus the Street Profits versus Fraxium versus Andrade and Ray Phoenix. Oh my gosh, who wins this match? I think it's too early to take the belts off the White Six. If I had to rank them in order of how I would want them to win the titles from bottom up, I think this is tough because I'm okay with any one of these tag teams walking out as champion. But if you're going to put a gun to my head or pull my leg or threaten my life, I would say at the top, give me the White Six. Then give me the Street Profits. Then give me Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and then Andrade Phoenix. But if whoever walks out with the tag titles, hey, they got my good graces because all these guys deserve the titles at this point. Finally, we're getting tag titles worthwhile Because we know Raw's not doing shit with their tag titles. At least SmackDown's making theirs worth their while and making it worth the watch week after week after week. We aren't getting the women's tag title. I mean, the women's United States title with Gilia, which kind of stupid. We aren't also getting the Raw tag titles because it's dead. That division is dead. KIA, Killed in Action. But that is my SummerSlam predictions, and I do think this SummerSlam 2 nights is going to be an absolute banger. Might be the best shows of the year so far, not including Mania. We're talking the post that fiscal part of the year. But hey, that has been my SummerSlam predictions. Leave your predictions in the comment section down below. Until next time, I've been your host. Not much sure your favorite neighbor Crabman because I don't have my hair anymore, but you know the deal. Keep on keeping on. Peace.